Mental strength is not the ability to stay out of the darkness. It's the ability to sit present in the darkness, knowing the light will shine again. Welcome, and I'm so glad that you're here. Here we talk about personal development, relationships, and mental health, just to name a few. My name is Carmen, a registered counsellor who is passionate about coming alongside people. This podcast is designed to create a discussion and bring awareness around what matters most in life, and that includes you. The goal is that each episode will leave you feeling encouraged, equipped, and empowered so you can live your best life. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to another episode. I hope you've been keeping well, and I'm so glad that you decided to press play, whether this is your first time to the podcast or you've been here before. So what have you gotten up to lately? I decided to do some decluttering, and I don't know about you, but it makes me feel good when I change things up a little. I reorganized my shelving system, and every time I walk past, I stop for a moment and then continue on. Do you find that you like changing up your space, or do you like keeping things the same? I love how we're all so different. So it amazes me how we can collect stuff along the way that may have served us once upon a time, and now it no longer does. And I wonder, because we are involved with our responsibilities or life in general, we can forget about these things, the things that we've collected along the way. This can be the same with the way we cope in particular situations, which stop working or no longer serves us. And in my practice, we look at these coping mechanisms or the way of being, and there is always a sense of honour about what got us to this point. And then there is a redefining of what things could look like in moving forward. You may have heard me say that I have one of the greatest honours of coming alongside people, and I really do mean that. And the reason is that I get to see people transform as we work together. Transformation can look like having the confidence to make different choices, or to gain a sense of awareness, and there's so much I could tell you. But for the sake of time, I might leave that for another episode. I also appreciate the courage it takes to put your hand up and ask for support, or to share your story with another person. Especially acknowledging when working with clients. Technically, I'm a stranger at the commencement of the counselling process, unless we have crossed paths before. It's taking into consideration the process of asking for support, and that's not always easy, comfortable, or even our first option. Sometimes we try to work things out on our own, and sometimes we need a safe place to unpack our burdens, share our thoughts, and express our feelings. You see, even counsellors need support at times, and we get it through supervision or going to counselling ourselves. Would it be fair to say that no one can escape the highs and lows of life? And while I have sat in the counsellor's chair, I have also sat in the client's chair also. And a valuable takeaway for me is sometimes we offer support and sometimes we need support. So in today's episode, I wanted to give you a sneak peek into what happens in the counselling room. While what gets discussed in sessions is confidential, which is not where we are going, but more about what counselling can look like. Maybe the whole process may leave you feeling curious, or you have an idea of what therapy looks like because you have decided to give it a go. So what comes to mind when you think of counselling? Perhaps it's laying on a couch talking about your childhood while the counsellor presents you with the question, "So tell me, how does that make you feel?" And while clients remain upright during the session, we may delve into childhood if it's going to help with the client's goals. but this is not always the case. I do ask clients how they feel about particular situations, but that is not the only thing that I ask. So what kind of picture has been painted for you when it comes to counselling? Would it be fair to say that different pictures have been painted of what it all looks like? And I wonder if it encourages people to get the help they deserve, or does it create obstacles? I would love to hear your thoughts about this, and I will mention how you can get in contact with me a little later on in the episode. Most of the work that gets done in a counselling session relies on the therapeutic relationship. It's where trust is established, when a person is heard and feels safe to express themselves. Together, a counselling plan is established in line with the client's goals. In my practice, I aim to create an atmosphere where a client can accept themselves just the way they are, and from that place, be empowered to change areas of their life that are aligned with these goals. Carl Rogers quoted, "The curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change." As I mentioned earlier, there is an honouring of the process and how far each person has come up to this point, and the empowerment to create change even if it's baby steps towards the desired goal. I'm a big encourager of celebrating the steps. The other side of counselling looks at practical tools that can create awareness, identify strengths, set goals, and come up with ways to take steps forward. It's looking at different emotions and how to process them. It's learning how to transition through various stages of life, expanding one's communication skills, and processing grief and loss, just to name a few. Counsellors can use different methods and tools when working with clients. However, it's vital for the client to feel comfortable with the intervention and have the space to voice their experience. So if you're curious about counselling or have any questions, I would also love to hear from you. I am offering free 15-minute phone consultations with no obligation because I understand how the process can be daunting. On a finishing note, thank you so much for joining me for this episode, and it makes the journey so much more enjoyable when I hear from you. If you have any topic ideas, I am just an email away, and you can get more information about everything I spoke about today, as well as get in contact with me at carmendebono.com.au, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. So that's it for today's episode. As always, I'm grateful for the opportunity to come alongside you. If you know someone who might benefit from hearing this episode, why not share it with them? For more content, head over to carmendebono.com.au, and I look forward to coming alongside you again next Wednesday.